What's good, family? Welcome back to the channel. This video right here is about to be very juicy. We're gonna get into a couple different interesting things. But first thing is first, I am doing a day in my life on Instagram. So I'm taking out through a actual regular day through my life from the wake up to the nighttime. So go check that out. Follow my Instagram. I'm very active on that. I post a lot of different fitness content, some reels. I'm dropping a new reel today, and I'll really appreciate your support if you go just like, follow, and do all that stuff, man. But look it, recently we found out from another witch, a celebrity witch. She was claiming that Beyonce herself is a witch, which is not surprising for me, but it may be very surprising for a lot of other viewers if you are new to the channel. I'm gonna show you guys this clip really quick just to catch y'all up.
Do you consider yourself a witch?
Oh, I am a witch, but
How
I don't
the
do
fuck
dances for everybody. Though.
Should I be scared?
No,
Oh, okay. I didn't know, because you know they tell me Beyonce's a witch and shit like that.
Oh,
that
she
we
is.
should be scared. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, she's an Ifa. So when she wears her yellow, that's Oshun,
Oh.
riches and beauty and love and all of that, which I can see why she's connected to Oshun. But yeah, so it's another kind of tradition.
Okay.
Like a lot of people would think it's voodoo, but it's really Ifa. So it's like a lifestyle as opposed to religion. You know?
Because I always wonder why she always got on them flowers and
Yeah.
she got on that elaborate shit. I'm like, can nobody buy your clothes? Your clothes look different.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She probably gives her, so she has her own altar. She gives her food. She has parties for her. All of that. Just like Summer Walker.
Yeah, Summer Walker.
Yeah, so it gets really real. If you guys want to watch the rest of that video, we reacted to that together in one of our last previous videos. But that's not what this video is about. This video right here is about Beyonce actually fulfilling biblical prophecy. One thing that we always recognize is the fact that individuals like these witches and obviously people that are controlling the new world order when it comes to the money and all these just staged occurrences, it actually falls into the hands of what the Bible says. And this is just coming from a straight logical standpoint. So first thing is first, we have right here, this is in the Book of Revelations, which talks about the end times and what the end times is gonna look like, and what we could possibly look for. All right. So just to break this down, really simple, really fast, it explains that there's gonna be a rider on a white horse, a rider on a fury red one, and then a rider on a black horse, as you guys can see, and then the fourth horse is gonna be a pale horse, which is like gray. It's pale, you get what I'm saying? And as you guys can see in this photo right here, we have Beyonce literally playing into the biblical standpoint of what the signs of the end times is gonna be. And I was explaining, like, one of the riders on this horse is gonna be called Death and like Hades, and this is what they're bringing towards the world. And now you can't just call this a coincidence. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is just like, you got the white one, you got the fiery red one, and you have the black one, and then you have the gray one. And then you also have this witch explaining that Beyonce has this alter ego. And then you also have Beyonce explaining herself that she has an alter ego, which is called Sasha Fierce, that takes over her when she goes on stage. So at this point, it'll literally be you watching this video to not believe what everyone is talking about, even Beyonce herself, when it comes to this witchcraft and alter egos and giving up your soul and worshiping a false god. Everything's being shown right in front of our face. It's just a matter of accepting the truth for what it is. You get what I'm saying? So if you guys do like the truth, make sure you do smash like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because that's what I'm here doing on this channel. It's not even like I'm not even like hating on her or nothing like that. I'm literally showing y'all what she's showing the world, but just from the most logical standpoint and what the symbolism actually means. That's all that's really going on right here. So let's get into this video right here. We have the truth is exposing Beyonce's Renaissance tour. So let's see his perspective on what's going on right here, and let's see what's going on.
Beyonce has been the biggest female artist in the world for the last 20 years. She was named the 8th greatest singer of all time by Rolling Stone, and she also has been nominated for 88 Grammy Awards, winning a whopping 32 of them. It's actually reported that Beyonce and Jay-Z are both tied for the most Grammy-nominated artists, as they each have 88 nominations. There aren't that many artists that make it to the level Beyonce has made it to. This is why she is seen as a queen, even being nicknamed Queen Bee, as she's clearly the queen of the music industry. Sitting next to considerably one of the most successful rappers of all time, Jay-Z, makes it even harder to deny. By now, if you're watching this channel, you should already know Beyonce didn't make it to this level because of talent and luck. She was chosen and put in place to become the biggest female artist of our time. The music industry and the world of the occult are one and the same. The biggest artists aren't just rappers and singers. They are occultists who are involved in ritual and ceremonial magic. Beyonce made it to the top by participating in it all. She has been showing signs of this for the last 20 years.
Another word for magic could literally just be witchcraft.
Beyonce, like many occultist Masonic puppets, can be seen time and time again doing the one-eye symbolism. She can be seen covering one of her eyes by placing one hand over it. She can also be seen doing the Masonic all-seeing eye pose or displaying open as day Saturn worship imagery. For those who don't know, Saturn was a god worshipped by the Romans. He was the god of agriculture, wealth, and war. He was also known as the god who ate 5 out of his 6 sons. For those that didn't know, the planet Saturn is named after the Roman god, and so is the day Saturday, which is really called Saturn Day. The Freemasons and occultists worship Saturn because of his close resemblance to Lucifer. Saturn, just like Lucifer, is seen as a liberator to occultists. Seeing Saturn as just another representation of Lucifer, this is why we see so many celebrities displaying Saturn imagery. We have seen artists like Adele in the past displaying Saturn imagery, as she even has a Saturn tattoo. We can also find Doja Cat displaying Saturn imagery as well, as she can be seen holding Saturn in this photo. Beyonce can be seen.
And we all know Doja Cat is far gone. Just go on her Instagram page. Then no explanation is needed for that one.
With her ring behind her head. The ring symbol is used to reference Saturn since the planet has a ring orbiting around it. Beyonce is the female counterpart to Jay-Z. Together, they are the Masonic checkerboard floor. Beyonce the biggest female artist, and Jay-Z the biggest male artist. Duality at its finest. Jay-Z is looked at as a god in hip-hop, just like Beyonce in the pop world. With Beyonce, some people don't just see her as a god, they worship her like one too. Like I said in a previous video I made on Beyonce, believe it or not, there is a Beyonce Church that worships her as a literal god. They worship Beyonce in a church service just like they would with the Lord. People see this and think nothing of it, but they don't understand what's truly going on. She was chosen by the hierarchy of Freemasonry. She was built up and put in place in order to manipulate the minds of the female audience. It's not a surprise that she's being worshipped. She was created for this. For the last few years, the industry has been using Beyonce to put out imagery that I can only interpret as apocalypse imagery. It all started back in July 2020 when Beyonce sat on top a white horse in the Black is King movie, and then in June 2022 she revealed the cover for the Renaissance album, showing herself on top of a silver horse. Then, in July 2022, Beyonce was seen on a red horse for the Vogue cover shoot, and then we saw her in August posing with a black horse for Harper's Bazaar. If you read the New Testament part of the Bible, then this should ring bells to you. Beyonce has been showing herself.
Crazy thing is, I did not even know that this video was gonna be talking about the 4 horses right here, bro. For real. I just saw the Renaissance tour, but that's crazy.
On all 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, pestilence, war, famine, and death. It's very interesting that this all started back in 2020 when the world changed forever. If you think this is a coincidence, think again. Everything happens for a reason. What happened in 2020 was a result of the plans that have been in motion for centuries. Beyonce is a part of the rolling out of those plans. This obvious apocalypse imagery coming from Beyonce is continuing on her new tour, which she called the Renaissance Tour. For the last few months, Beyonce has been on a major sold-out tour, jam-packed with her biggest worshippers. During this tour, Beyonce has been putting out some very interesting imagery that ties into all of the apocalypse imagery we have been seeing coming from Hollywood. The part of the show that caught my attention the most was the intro to the show itself. In this video of the tour that's shown online, I saw that they showed plenty of concerning imagery in the very beginning of the show. The show starts by displaying a solar eclipse on the screen before Beyonce is shown on the screen with a light revolving around her. The solar eclipse imagery is actually used by occultists to symbolize a start of a massive change. The pagans used to wait for solar eclipse in order to perform sacrifices, while other civilizations saw the eclipse as a signal of the end times. We then see what appears to be a portal in the middle of the stage with Beyonce's face shown in the middle of it. They then show an image of Beyonce laying on her side on the screen as she slowly turns into a robot. This is supposed to represent a rebirth, as she even states during the intro, "Welcome to my renaissance, my rebirth." The screen then transitions into a portal that shows Beyonce riding a pale horse, which is death. Another portal appears, and then we see what appears to be a fallen angel riding a rocket into a city. This is obvious apocalypse imagery, and it's interesting to see Beyonce putting this imagery out there while we are witnessing everything that's happening around us. She literally showed the pale horse, which represents death, and then showed a fallen angel riding a rocket into a city. The fans just sit there and cheer, not knowing what they're being exposed to. After this, Beyonce is shown on the screen repeatedly, as if she's some sort of robot, and eventually, the portal opens up to show the new Beyonce coming to life as this robot woman. This part of the show actually comes directly from a 1927 movie called Metropolis. The movie Metropolis is about a futuristic, dystopian, post-apocalyptic world that is divided into two separate classes, one for the elite and another for the working class. And in this world, the elite have established the New World Order. In this New World Order, the elite live in a utopia, while the masses live in despair, working non-stop as literal human robots.
I'm just saying, because that's how... Putting it that way, when it's just two classes, you have the elite and then you have the literal working class. Like, the elite are working to keep the working class and not become the elite. And then at that point, it's like, if they all just become robots, no one's able to think for themselves and have higher consciousness, higher thoughts of consciousness, and then they're just literal robots making the elite money. I mean, you can even look outside nowadays. That's kind of what's going on right now. This is the New World Order. That's the Illuminati. That's what they're working for.
Live deep underground and are only allowed to work while they're consistently being monitored. They show these workers as slaves that have been turned into manual labor robots. This movie is tied directly to the occult, and I think I should do a full breakdown on this movie. If you guys would like to see that, comment Metropolis below. It's obvious Beyonce is referring to the robot Maria in the movie. As they show Beyonce going from a human to a robot, she looks identical to the Maria robot in the movie, which was created to spread chaos. A movie that's a direct reference to the new Masonic world. During her show, we see Beyonce being introduced just as the robot Maria is introduced in the movie. It pretty much looks exactly the same, as I'm pretty sure Beyonce was inspired by this. In the movie, when they show the robot Maria, she can be seen in front of a pentagram showing she is tied to Lucifer. This is what Beyonce is referring to with this performance. She is referring to this dystopian future where the elite enslave the masses. Just looking at the imagery coming from Beyonce's show, you can see exactly what she is referring to. Just like the rest of the imagery being put out by Hollywood, Beyonce is referring to the Great Reset, the start of the New World Order. This is what the horseman imagery is referring to, as the horsemen are a reference to the end times. In order for the New World Order to start, the old order must end. This is why she shows a robotic Lucifer destroying the city. This is also why they keep on showing the portal imagery. They're referring to the new world that is emerging. All of this imagery ties directly back to the occult. Beyonce has been referring to the robot from Metropolis for a while now. Beyonce wore this outfit for a BET Awards back in the 2000s. This is who she always represented. It's obvious Beyonce is being used to put out this imagery, just like Kendrick Lamar is being used to put out Antichrist imagery. You have to pay attention to the imagery these artists are putting out. Beyonce showed herself on the Four Horsemen. Her Renaissance album literally shows herself riding the pale horse of death. Then during this entire performance, she's showing this apocalypse imagery and again pointing to a movie that takes place after the apocalypse, showing a world where the New World Order has been established. Throughout this performance, they have some interesting imagery going on. Beyonce can be seen flying.
It's like, bro, you could choose not to believe it, but one thing is for a fact, you can't deny it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see the four horses and you saw what it said in the Bible.
A goddess in the sky riding the pale horse, which is pointing to the great spiritual war that would happen in the end times. She can also be seen in front of a portal, which is interesting when you realize that CERN, those who are literally creating a portal, have a statue of the goddess Shiva, the great destroyer, at their facility. During the performance, Beyonce depicts herself exactly like Shiva, as she can be seen positioned in front of her backup dancers to appear as if she has many arms. This is exactly how Shiva is presented. This is obvious imagery telling us exactly what they're planning. This is what Beyonce was built up to the level of false god for. She has the masses under a trance, and she is guiding them into the new world. I also saw a video floating around of one of Beyonce's shows that shows Blue Ivy, Beyonce's daughter, throwing up the Masonic pyramid. I wouldn't be surprised if she had
Bro.
already been indoctrinated into the Masonic order.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, what do you expect? You got Jay-Z and Beyonce as her parents. Of course she's going to be doing that. That's all she knows.
They actually have a Masonic lodge for girls under 21 called the International Rainbow Girls, or the other Masonic organization called the Job Daughters. Both of these are Masonic organizations for young girls. They already have Blue Ivy showing her alliance, so I wouldn't be surprised if she was a part of it.
Bruh.
Just like the rest of the Hollywood.
Like, bro, Blue Ivy probably just looks at the entire world as some freaking peasants, bro. No, like, literally, like, that's, like, being raised up in an environment like that, just being able to get whatever you want, having your mom and dad as Beyonce and Jay-Z, and then, like, adopting their mindset from such a young age, yo, she looking at you mere peasants.
Sellouts. Beyonce and Jay-Z sold their daughters to the industry. They are two of the biggest puppets the industry has ever seen. Beyonce and Jay-Z both openly show they took the oath, and they also make it clear that they are against the God we serve. Jay-Z is actually producing a movie called The Book of Clarence, which mocks God and those who follow him. The movie is about a man who impersonates Jesus in order to be treated like a prophet. The movie once again shows Jay-Z's true colors. The truth is, Beyonce made it to this level by practicing ritual magic. She is showing her audience that she has transcended and that she is now enlightened. This is why she is presenting herself as a god and her fans as her worshippers. People refuse to believe that Beyonce is an occultist, but even her own people called her out for it. One of Beyonce's former drummers came out and exposed Beyonce for being a witch.
The fact that people keep saying I'm crazy, hell, the situations I had to deal with and survive are crazy. About other situations where changing into animals and jumping into other bodies and all kinds of really crazy stuff. They were like, the cat has a spell on it. The cat was taken back to her people, and
people just ignored it as the media painted the drummer as a crazy woman. This drummer tried to tell the world the truth, as Beyonce has been revealing this herself, but the masses didn't listen, as they didn't care and they just continued to worship her. We are in some very interesting times, and now more than ever, you should seek God for yourself and make sure you understand what's needed for your salvation. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey, bro, there's like, how much more evidence is really needed, bro? At this point, like I said, you don't have to believe it. You could choose not to believe it, but there's no denying it at all. You can even look up picture of Jay-Z with like a witch. Like, there will literally be a picture of Jay-Z like doing some type of ritual with a witch. That's not photoshopped at all. Like, it's not photoshopped at all whatsoever. So they're pretty bold about it. It's just the fact that when people do see symbolism, they don't know what it means. So you just got a lot of people are just in the dark about what they're really showing. But once you do know, you know. You know what I'm saying? And there's no denying like what the Bible said. The Bible's been the Bible for over 2,000 years. So seeing those horses like that, it literally plays into the end time description within the Bible. Talking about, look at the pale horse, the rider, it was named Death, and Hades was following close behind them. So comment down below what y'all think about this. Like I said before, make sure you do follow my Instagram and show some love and support over there. I'm posting more reels. I am doing a lot of content on my story today. I'm taking out the entire day of my life living over here in Miami. I love you guys. Make sure you do smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one the same way you're going to catch me in the next one. Peace. Love y'all.